Hey everyone, Anthony Fantano here, internet's busiest music nerd, and it's time for our weekly track roundup, where I go over what I felt were the best and the worst tracks of the week. Of course, I have to shout a few things out. Our Amazon Associates link down there in the description box. Use that if you live in the US. Just click on it. Then when you buy something on Amazon, we get kickback from it. Does not add to your overall price. I see that you guys are using the link. It's a big deal. It's awesome. Helps out the segment. Helps out the show. Spitting out my gum. Also, we have a similar thing going on with the good people over at Turntable Lab, where you can get great, cool pressings of various vinyl records that I have reviewed and more. And, of course, turntable equipment as well for people looking to get into the vinyl collecting and vinyl playing, the vinyl experience world. And finally, I have to mention that SLIPMATs are back. SLIPMATs are back. Of course, another limited run of these. Turntable SLIPMATs, throw these on a turntable. They look amazing. And also, we have some stickers too for people who ordered signed orders of SLIPMATs, because you can just get a SLIPMAT, or I can, put a little signature on a SLIPMAT for you too. We do international shipping. Link down there in the description on our support page. Just look for our support page down there in the description, and you can grab a SLIPMAT over there. The limited run that we have, they are already at the point of me posting this video halfway through of the run that I have printed, so do act now. Because I think our next design is going to be different, and I need to shout out our sponsor. Again, in this video, the good people over at feedbands.com. That is feedbands.com. I've mentioned them in many previous recent Best Worst Tracks videos. One of the most unique music subscription services out there. Get out there, get on the website, check out the independently released and posted music that is on the website right now. People who subscribe to the service can vote songs and artists up, and the artists that people democratically decide on the site is worthwhile and is actually great gets printed to vinyl, and then that vinyl gets sent out to the subscribers of the service. Now, the people who run Feedbands wanted me to mention in this specific video that they also do t-shirt runs as well, limited edition t-shirt runs of the artists who they do records for, who they do music releases for, and you can actually opt into sort of a digital download and a t-shirt as well as a vinyl, or instead of a vinyl. The website to hit up is feedbands.com/vinyl/subscribe, and you can sign up for a t-shirt there. You can sign up for the t-shirt portion of their subscription service over there. And I think that is going to do it for our mentions, for our intros, for our sponsors in this video. Again, Feedbands, Amazon link, Turntable Lab, and the SLIPMATs limited run. There are only so many left. Now let's get into the tracks. Okay. Worst tracks of the week. We got to kick things off with, as usual, rip that Band-Aid off, do the worst of the worst first. And got to kick it off by giving a shout out to my girl, Miley Cyrus, with the song Malibu. Truly, honestly, it's not the worst Miley Cyrus song I've ever heard. Mostly I've thrown this song in here because god damn has she done a 180 from Dead Pets to this. Now she's looking like just like a normal country girl. Like what happened? What happened, man? It's almost as if everybody who over the past few years was saying, oh, she's so cool, she's so authentic, she's so unique. It's almost as if everybody who was saying that through the whole Bangers era was wrong, because it was all just an act, and it was all just to get people's attention, and it was all just a PR ploy. What? Someone in the music industry, in the mainstream, in the poposphere, doing something to manipulate people's emotions and get attention and make money? Well, I can't believe it. I'm such a poptimist that I trust everything and anything that the industry throws at me as authentic. That's how much of a moron I am. Not to say that this is necessarily Miley's natural state of being, but consider the whole I can't be tamed era of Miley Cyrus. That was Miley Cyrus trying to be edgy. And then the trap thing happened, and I'm sure her and her team, or whoever the hell she works with, decided, hey, let's jump on this and do something super freaky, sexy, quirky, in your face, lewd, and crude. And there you have it. There you have Miley Cyrus just sort of grabbing the attention of America through those couple of years. And of course, you know, there's only so long that you could do it before it's just like, okay, you know, we've seen you twerking on a giant fire hydrant that is spurting out pink goo or something, whatever the hell she does when she's playing live. However, the live show does look insane. You know, it does look like a lot of interesting, you know, creativity, visually at least, goes into that live show. So I will say that. I will give Miley that. But the music has been trash, especially Dead Pets. And now for her to kind of come back to this regular old sort of, you know, sunny rock music with a little bit of a country twang to it, and, you know, a lot of West Coast, I'm just a chill person sort of vibes to it. It's kind of annoying. She really cashed into that whole trap hip-hop trend, man. She really cashed in hard. She cashed in hard. Make that money. And it's funny because like everybody who was in hip hop who was endorsing her is just kind of left holding the bag. Meanwhile, like I said, the previous week, Katy Perry now switched, and it seems like she's sort of doing what Miley used to do, which is kind of weird, kind of awkward. Like, you know, when you go to a party and you catch somebody in an outfit that you wore last week, it's kind of awkward. It's kind of weird. But anyway, let's move on. Fetty Wap with a new track. Hey! This track is terrible. Fetty Wap, I could see why he sort of, you know, was leaning mostly on the whole singing thing when he initially broke, because he was trying to write more of the same hit over and over. Now it seems like he's trying to lean a little bit more on his rapping, and it's just really generic. And what sort of convinced him to title the song A, and because that's sort of technically the hook of the song, but it's such an awful hook. Like, dude, you really got to go back to the drawing board on this one and write a chorus if anyone is going to remember this song. Psy has a new track out titled I Love It. I found it annoying within the first 30 seconds and wanted to end my life. Tim Heidecker has a new track out titled 4chan, which of course is about a lot of the ugly, racist, troll, loser people who come off of the pole board, but he's kind of like in a grand, stereotypical, you know, brush of his artistic vision here, has painted the entire board. See, here's the fact of the matter. The video board, the video and television and movie boards there probably enjoy Tim's work. The pole board is most primarily what Tim is probably dealing with in terms of like when he's talking about, oh, people are trolling me, blah, and the rest of the board doesn't know who you are and probably doesn't give a shit about anything that you do, Tim. So for you to sort of paint this online community as like, everybody is a fat racist loser, it's really petty, you know, like for you to go through all of this effort just because, you know, some people are trolling you and your friends online a little bit, it's really petty, you know, and it's really annoying. You know, I like that Mar-a-Lago track you wrote. That was pretty funny. You know, and some of your other tracks, they do strike me as kind of boring, but this song is really petty. That's really all I got to say about it. And the new HAIM song right now, surprisingly, I've liked almost everything that I've heard from this forthcoming HAIM song, excuse me, record. And this track over here, there was like a weird studio session cut, a bit of a live performance of this song that was released before the official studio version, which it seemed like a very patient, slow, passionate ballad that I really liked. And this studio version is awful. It's like I'm listening to a deconstructed version of that studio performance. And there's all these weird gimmicky noises and sound effects surrounding the song that don't even really impact the progression and the intensity of the performance. And it just seems like disconnected. It just seems like a lot of weird bells and whistles to sort of color the background to keep people from getting bored. Because honestly, I don't find this particular take of this ballad to be all that exciting. Seemed like that session take was way more, I guess had more conviction to it, was more engaging. But this weird, again, deconstructed version with all the random noises that don't really add anything to the song, anything to the track, really is not doing anything for me. And that's going to do it for the worst tracks of the week. Let's move on to the tracks that I thought were meh, but we're certainly worth mentioning. Check out my goddamn New Order shirt, everybody. Damn. That's a nice shirt. But moving on from there, Danny Brown has a track on what seems like this new soundtrack to this HBO series. There was a track, I think, from last week that featured Nas. As I said, this new one, Danny Brown. Really wild performance from Danny on this one. Sort of sounds like a track that could have been from the old era, except a little bit crazier on the vocal and the chorus side. Not a bad track at all. Pretty good track. This band, Witchblood, Doomed in the Realm of the Dead. This is some nasty, grimy, horrid, bloody, filthy, disgusting death metal. I wouldn't say it's all that unique. You know, maybe it's a shade or two cleaner than like that Pissgrave album I reviewed not too long ago, which, you know, the death metal fans, you remember that Pissgrave record. Like, some parts of it were awful, but some parts of it were filthy amazing. I should probably return to that album. Few shades cleaner than that Pissgrave record, but for people who like their death metal blood-caked and old school, you're going to dig on this. Truise, Isostasy, a new track out over here. Bit of an 80s vibe to it, of course. Vintage groove, smooth synth tones all over this thing, from the bass to the treble. Really pretty, really, I guess I want to say, hypnotic and almost utopian in how smooth and gorgeous it is. It actually kind of has me semi-excited for this new record. I'm going to say that. I'll leave it at that. The National has a new track out, The System Only Dreams in Total Darkness. I thought the instrumentation on this track was way livelier. Well, maybe not way livelier. Slightly livelier than what is usually on a National song, which I thought was great. Good change of pace. But of course, the vocals still leave a lot to be desired because they are very drab. They are very almost monotone. And, you know, it's a National song. I've never been that crazy about the band. I mean, I like some of their earlier work, but never been a huge fan of the band. This song continues to exemplify why. But, you know, those slight instrumental tweaks that they've made to this track has made, you know, the drums, the guitars, everything a little bit more tangible and, you know, making me feel like, whoa, it's not just like a soupy, moody mess. But moving on from there, Rejjie Snow has a new track out that I wanted to shout out, Purple Tuesday, featuring Joey Badass and Jessie Boykins. Not a bad song at all. Kind of standard jazz rap affair, but a good single. Fleet Foxes, new track, Fool's Errand. You know, I really wanted to love this song. I really want to be excited for this new Fleet Foxes album, but this song has me a little less so because I feel like there's just not a whole lot of, I guess, excitement in terms of the progression of this track. I think the crescendo around the middle point that the band builds up to is really kind of flaccid. It really falls flat on its face, makes it almost feel like everything the song progressed up to till that point was almost like for naught, because the song is definitely not as, I guess the word I want to say is meticulously layered. And to the point where, you know, where the crescendos and everything, the build-ups feel like exhilarating, like they did on Helplessness Blues and their debut too. You know, I like their debut, not as crazy about it as Helplessness Blues, but it kind of seems like something's a little bit off in terms of the instrumental arrangement. Much of everything else about the track, though, seems fine. I'm open, though, to maybe hearing the track more once the album is out, and then it grows on me a little bit then. But up to this point, you know, after giving the song a few listens, it's kind of like, it's not hitting me quite as hard as I would have liked it to. But moving on from there, Calvin Harris has a new track out featuring Khalid and Future. And this is actually the first track off of this forthcoming record that I thought was not that bad. You know, even Future's contribution was pretty decent. And I think it mostly has to do with the lead vocal melody that's mostly sung by Khalid on the track. Sounds a lot like something Frank Ocean would do. It's very Frank Ocean-y, but it's not a bad tune at all. But moving on, we're going to get into what I felt was were the best tracks of the week here, and then close this segment out. Let's go. Miya Falak. Miya Falak is an artist on the Terrible Records label. Please don't make a bad joke about that, because they are a good label. And this new song of hers from her forthcoming album is titled Trouble Adjusting. And it has a bit of a 90s angsty rock vibe to it, but God, is there so much guts to her performance on this track. I just love it. I'm just in love with her performance, in love with her voice. I love what the guitars are doing on this track too. Again, it's just got a lot of guts and blood all over the mix. Just so much conviction on this track. I just couldn't say no to it. Moving on from there, Roger Waters, Deja Vu. Oh man, considering how so-so the last Pink Floyd album was, and you know, people were telling me, oh, you got to hear this new Roger Waters, you got to hear this new Roger Waters. You know, I figured it was just the dad rockers who were making a big deal of a track that wasn't really that good, and that there really wasn't much to it. But this song is fantastic. This is a fantastic goddamn song. His performance on this track, his vocal performance, you know, at first it's so, he really plays it down, but then as the instrumentation grows, he sort of, you know, his voice cracks, he's going a little crazier. The emotion really intensifies on this cut. It's actually amazing. You know, sort of the how much Waters kind of bears himself on this track. You know, there are a lot of singers his age that play a little more reserved because they don't want, you know, those flaws, those blemishes to show in their voice. He puts it all out there, and I think as a result, the song feels so much more human, so much more relatable, so much more powerful. You know, instrumentally, it's super impressive, super well arranged, especially, you know, the extra instrumentation. You know, melodically, it's really impressive as well. I'm just impressed with every facet of this song. It's easily going to be one of the best singles of the year, in my opinion. Lovely track. Very amazing track. Actually, very excited for this forthcoming record. We have a new single over here from Rich Chigga, Keith Ape, and XXXTentacion. Gospel. Banger of the week, everybody. Banger of the week. I don't know what else you could say about a track that features these three. How can it not be the banger of the week? The beat goes hard. X goes hard. Chigga, Keith Ape, every facet of this track, super impressed with. It goes hard. A couple more. Shabazz Palace's 30-clip extension. Love the lyrics on this track. It is kind of another wonky, very low-key Shabazz Palace's strange, spacey instrumental. Don't expect too much from the instrumental. You know, it is so low-key that it does feel somewhat underwhelming, but I do love the lyrics on this track because it does kind of come through with that usual, you know, Palliser Lazaro, I'm going to dissect, you know, how people are consuming most mainstream rappers and rap music, and sort of point out the weird gender dynamic and the freaking, you know, crazy nonsensical gangsterisms and the violence and the this and the that, and just make some very, you know, funny, witty, tongue-in-cheek observations about all of it. And apparently Shabazz Palace, they're releasing 2 records this year. It's like a bit of a double album affair that's going to be dropping very soon, which I didn't know. Originally, when they dropped a track a week or 2 weeks ago, I thought it was just going to be 1 record, and now I hear it's going to be 2 records. So I don't know, really excited to kind of hear this ambitious move from Palliser and company to hear you know, 2 projects worth of music on such a short amount of time. Very again, over the top. Bleachers, Everybody Lost Somebody. Surprised I like this track as much as I did. Like a lot of Bleachers tracks from the previous record, you know, very strong new wave vibe coming from the instrumentation, coming from the songwriting, but I love the chorus on this thing, love the vocal melody, you know, so many quality, poppy, super catchy characteristics about this track. Actually kind of looking forward to the new record. And we're going to finish it off with my boy Billy Woods, who has a new record coming out very soon, Groundhog's Day. This track, and I'm imagining more tracks from this forthcoming record, produced by Blockhead, okay? For the hip-hop snobs out there, Blockhead, the Blockhead, producing for Billy Woods. Underground master rapper extraordinaire with a very unique, crazy, esoteric lyric and, I want to say, semi-spoken word rant rap style that that hits me hard every time I hear it, and that's also, you know, the case on this new track over here. And those are going to be my best and worst tracks of the week. Thank you very much for watching, everybody. Remember that all those songs, good and bad, have been linked down there in the description for your curiosity, whether it be, hey, I want to hear those best tracks, or, you know, you got a little morbid curiosity, you want to hear that new Miley Cyrus, that's fine too. I'm not going to judge you, okay? We also have down there, again, that Amazon Associates link, Turntable Lab link, the link for the SLIPMATs, and remember, you get a sticker too if you order it signed. And the good people over at feedbands.com continue to sponsor this segment. Hit up their website, sign up to that service, support them, because again, they are one of the most unique vinyl and music subscription services I have seen out there on the internet today. Okay, that crowdsourcing, that power of the crowdsourcing between getting the music, getting the people involved, voting up the songs, getting vinyl printed, sending it out. It's unique. It's different. And we're going to leave it at that. That's it for this segment, guys. Thank you very much for watching. You're the best. I'll catch you in the next video. And tell me in the comments what you think of my New Order shirt. Tell me in them comments. Love you. Bye-bye.